Among XRP Ripple investors, panic has developed. Some analysts predict that the Ripple against SEC trial will never finish. Still, let's investigate to see whether things truly are that bad. Many professionals reject these tales. They claim Ripple will still prevail, and the price will skyrocket to $60,000. What therefore ought one to believe? One by one, let us review the facts. Let's straightforwardly get right to the topic without delay. Note of caution. Once more centered in speculation, this time driven by a tweet, the never-ending legal drama between Ripple and the SEC finds itself. Passionate about cryptocurrencies, Bale stirred the pot with a post suggesting that the SEC's ruling against Ripple might wait until late 2026. His precise statements, SEC against XRP Ultimate Choice, might wait till late 2026. The comment attracted attention right away among the XRP community and set off a frenzy of responses ranging from shock to annoyance. Nevertheless, the claim stays an unsubstantiated rumor with no official legal foundation despite its reach. There is no file, no calendar, and no official hint that this matter would linger for another year, let alone two. By comparison, the real legal changes show a significantly more hopeful picture, one of advancement rather than stasis. Requesting Judge Annalisa Torres to change the final ruling in the case, Ripple and the SEC filed a joint motion in the Southern District of New York on June 21st. This is a really significant action. Reducing Ripple's legal penalty from $125 million to $50 million, restoring the remaining $75 million, and eliminating the long-standing injunction on institutional sales of XRP forms part of the proposal. The language in the file says a lot. Both sides mentioned extraordinary events, including changes in the legal environment and a clear mutual interest in forwarding this case behind them. There have been attempts at this kind of motion before. Judge Torres turned down a previous version sent in May for procedural problems, but this time the strategy seems to be far more planned and polished. Adding to the indications of closure, on June 16th, Ripple and the SEC also sent a status report to the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. Both sides asked in it that their respective appeals be stopped while Judge Torres considers the amended motion. The pact comes with a deadline. Should the court not render a decision by August 15th, the SEC needs to send an update. That date by itself casts doubt on the multi-year delay rumors. If anything, it implies that the parties engaged in this process and the court want a settlement sooner rather than later. Additionally, not supporting the delay explanation are legal professionals constantly monitoring the case. Australian attorney Bill Morgan has contended that if both sides are collaborating, there is no rational justification for such an extension. U.S. Attorney Fred Rispoli went one step further, stating he thinks depending on how fast Judge Torres decides to act, a decision might arrive in a few weeks. Dragging this out anymore is not in anyone's best interest, he pointed out, particularly with reference to the SEC. That is a really important realization. Years of litigation have probably made maintaining this fight more expensive than the advantages for either party. Should the motion be allowed, the case's outcome would be altered. Ripple would pay a rather modest fine. XRP institutional sales may start once more, and the appeals process would be waived. The case would then temporarily go back to the Second Circuit for a formal wrap-up, basically the last legal bow on one of the most significant crypto disputes in U.S. history. In an environment where rumors spread quicker than facts, Bale's tweet caught fire easily. Though the reality is significantly less dramatic and far more hopeful, speculation isn't justice. For the XRP community, which has spent years navigating uncertainty, the legal horizon could at last be clearing. Nobody can guess the precise resolution date. One thing is obvious, though, if you read between the lines of court filings, procedural cooperation, and expert comments. We are far nearer the end than we were at the beginning. Here's rather startling, though. Although there are speculations of a delay until 2026 making news, crypto analysts are not concerned. Actually, they're thrilled. Many think Ripple is only a few weeks away from a significant gain, and whatever occurs next might rock the whole market. Some analysts demand a pump that will wipe even the most optimistic projection from the past. Thus, crypto influencer John Squire brilliantly caught this feeling in a recent post. View the picture holistically. XRP does not create noise. It is the signal. That kind of message really connects. XRP has silently endured legal storms, regulatory uncertainty, and innumerable doubt-filled headlines in a market full of hype and diversion. Now, though, the signal is getting louder as important legal resolutions take shape. The community is vibrantly energizing itself. Another well-known voice in the crypto scene, Ammonix, didn't hold back. XRP breaks out not as a pump. This will be a historic financial event. You survived the quiet. Get ready now for the shockwave. That comment captures the idea that XRP is getting ready for something more than a basic rally. Its position in the digital economy is being reinterpreted. Of course, there are also the sky-high forecasts creating hype and uncertainty. XRP Dragon sent down a bombshell. XRP to $10 straightforward next month. Ready now? Crypto Geek carried it to the extreme, meanwhile, asserting Forbes estimates XRP will reach $60,000 by June 27th. Now, even if Final One appears more like satire than thorough investigation, it emphasizes the degree of buzz and speculation XRP is now attracting. But below the cacophony, there is a genuine issue that has thousands of people's imagination seized. Is it possible for a $10,000 investment in XRP to truly yield $1 million? The math is easy. To reach $200 and reach that $1 million barrier, you would need XRP at a present price of roughly $2. That is around 10,000% increase, driven but not unusual in the realm of cryptocurrencies. To put things in context, during the 2017 to 2018 bull cycle, XRP's all-time high was about $4. Reaching $200 would entail not just shattering that record, but also reaching a market cap higher than the combined worth of Apple, Microsoft, and Google, more than the record itself represents. Though some are still betting large, it is understandable that conventional experts find hard to trust. Analyst Javon Marks thinks XRP might burst from what he describes as the biggest coil pattern of all time, like the consolidation saw before its big 2017 surge. Triple digits, maybe as high as $200 or more, inside this market cycle. Others, such as Barassi, envision a more slow development, and Project XRP might reach $200 between 2032 and 2033. Though it's still a bold assertion, one that makes sense given reasonable adoption times and changes in world finance. The ultra-conservative predictions come next. While Changeley targets a similar range between 2034 and February 1940, platforms such as Telegond